Okay, what you're going to learn in this tutorial is how to put animation on your player character. And then what you see down below is our opponent character. You'll learn how to put that basic animation on that character as well. This obstacle here is an impassable obstacle. When we move down next to our opponent character, the AI activates, our opponent character starts chasing after us, starts firing at us. You'll learn how to put the sound effects on for when the opponent character chases after your player character. When our player character gets far enough away from our opponent character, then the opponent character stops searching for our player character. Again, we're going to click here and then select opponent. So then we're going to click done. And then for the speed, we want this to be 300. Where we see this instant, we want to change this to permanent. So we'll left click here. You can see this permanent is now highlighted blue since we selected it. We're then going to click OK. Okay, so let's test this out. So I just click the preview button to come in here. So now I'm near the top. The opponent doesn't see me yet. So now when I come down, now the opponent sees me. And actually, he looks kind of cool, but that's not what we want. Actually, he looks pretty cool. It's too much, though. So when I get a farther enough distance away, the opponent should stop. And there, the opponent stops. However, we want to have the bolt come out in a more controlled fashion. Okay, so how do we control the bolt? We do that with a timer. So we have all of these actions set up. Let's go to condition. We're going to click add condition. And then what we're looking for timers and times. We're going to left click here. And then we want value of a scene timer. We're going to left click here. The time in seconds, we want a bolt to come out every second. So I'm going to click 1. Now we need to put a name for this timer. I'm going to name this shoot timer. So I'm going to put quotations here since we're choosing the name. So now we have a timer named shoot timer. So then I'll click OK. Okay, now we need to, so basically every second a bolt will come out, right? However, we need to have this actual timer reset. So let's see, I'll click play right now. We'll go in range. You see it doesn't, we're like, okay, it is shooting every second. The timer is, it's not activating correctly. To make this work correctly, we need to reset the timer. There we go. Got enough distance away from him. So we'll just add an action in to reset the timer. So I'm going to click add action, timers and time, start or reset a scene timer. I'll left click there. The name is shoot timer. So with that name, we'll click OK. Okay, so now we'll try this again. I just click the preview button. And now you can see every second there's only one bolt coming out. And that's what we want. Okay, the reason why we set up our opponent to have a path finding abilities for this next thing that I'm going to show you. So we're going to go to new scene. We're going to go to this plus to the right. We're going to click there. We're going to select sprite. We're going to click here. We're going to name this obstacle. We're going to click this plus to the right. We're going to click edit with Piskel. We're going to keep the same color. We're going to go to this paint bucket. Click here. So everything's staying the same. This part here we don't have to do. I'm just choosing to do this. So then we'll select save. For the behaviors, we're going to click here. We can see this purple line underneath behaviors. We're going to click this plus button here. Now we're going to scroll down to obstacle for pathfinding. So we're going to left click here, leave this as it is, and then click apply. Okay, so we're going to left click on obstacle. You can tell it's selected because it's highlighted blue. We're going to left click and drag. Okay, there we go. So now I'm going to click this square here, drag this out, pull this over here. I'm going to click this button here to launch a preview. I'm going to click this button here to maximize. So now when we get close enough, our opponent character chases after me. And we'll even change directions to try to chase after me, but the opponent is reacting to the obstacle. The opponent character is going around the obstacle and changing based on the obstacle. Still, if I get far enough away, the opponent character will stop. However, our player character, I'll go down so you can see it, can go right through the obstacle. And we don't want that. Okay, so let's set it up so that the player character can't go through the obstacle. So we're going to select new scene events. We're going to not click there. See, when I click here, you only see the blue there. You want the blue around this whole thing, so you're going to click here. Now you can see the blues around everything. Now you're going to click new events. You're going to go to add condition, common conditions for all, collision, collision again. You're going to select player for the first object. For the second object, you're going to select obstacle. And then now we're going to come down, and I'm about to click OK. So now I'm going to click OK in a second. Okay, so now we have this set up. The player is in collision with the obstacle. Now we have to set up to say what happens when a player is in collision with the obstacle. Okay, so what we want to happen is for the player not to go through the obstacle. So to do that, we're going to click Add Action, Common Actions for All. We're going to go down to Position. We're going to scroll down. We're going to select Separate Two Objects. It's important that the first object is the movable object, which is our players. We're going to left click there. The second object is our obstacle. And then we're going to click OK. Okay, so now with that done, we'll click the preview button. I'm going to maximize our preview. So now when I get close, our player activates. However, I cannot go through now, which is what we want. I can't go through the obstacle now. So I'm going to click this X to get out of here. Okay, so what if you want to have sound when your opponent fires? So we have all this set up here. When our opponent is less than 200 pixels from our player, the opponent starts to fire. We can use this to fairly easily put a sound to go along with our fire. So what we're going to do is we're going to click here. See this blue outline here. Now we're going to click not event, but sub event. We're going to go to add action. We're then going to go to audio. We're going to scroll down to play a sound, left click there. We're then going to go to this paintbrush, click here, select these words here. This takes us into Gdevelop's built-in sound editor. We have these options here. We can click laser shoot. That gave us a decent laser sound. We'll click here. We'll name this bolt. Fire sound. This is unnecessary, by the way. I'm just putting this in there, but you don't have to do this. I'll click save. I'm going to click no. This is where we can set our volume. I'm going to change this to 1. Just because I'm putting it on 1 where this says 0 to 100, you might say, well, why 1? This is fairly loud, so right now, so I'm going to set that to 1. Seems to be pretty decent. I'm then going to click OK. Okay, so now we need to have a timer that matches this timer. So what we're going to do is go to Add Condition. We're going to go to Timers and Time. We're going to select Value of a Scene Timer. We're going to choose 1 second because this matches up with our other timer. We need a new timer, a second timer. So we're going to name this Sound. Then we're going to click OK. Okay, so we need one more thing. You see where we have this timer here and we have reset the timer, reset the shoot timer. We're going to need the same thing here. So we're going to click Add Action, Time and Timers. Then we're going to go to Start or Reset a Scene Timer. We're going to click here. We're going to enter in the name of our timer that's associated with our sound, which is Sound. So I'm going to click OK. Okay, we're going to click the preview button. I'm going to click the maximize button. Okay, and it works. Sound is kind of low. I'm going to click the X button to get out of this preview. Okay, so I'm going to go to this where we have play the sound. I'm going to double click here. I'm going to take this sound to 5. Click OK. Then I'm going to click the preview button. Then I'm going to click the maximize button. Okay, that's better. Okay, I'm going to click this X button to get out of that preview. Okay, guys, that's it for the tutorial. For all of those of you out there who like the videos on this channel, reshare them. Thank you very much. I really appreciate that. And for those of you who are new to this channel, if you like the videos on this channel and you would like to see more, please subscribe and thank you for viewing.